Hello, Eva.
Hello, Gabriela.
Welcome into this documentation pod of ONTREE. We are here today with you to unfold and to talk about what's alive for you in that creation. That now it's starting to spring into
Hmm.
matter, like land and roads and building and really physical reality from my experience visiting you
Hmm.
there. Yeah, so tell me what is most alive for you right now about that project.
Yeah, this word that you said, like a seeding. I exactly see that we are now like really planting the seeds, and the seeds are start to sprouting in many different areas. So it's not only the physicality of the land or what is necessary to do in the land, but also the other areas of that project. And we just had the convergence, a weekend convergence that we have every month, and we meet for the entire 2 days. And and in this convergence, it really landed in me like how big is this project, and I mean how big is to create this the Archaearchy Invention Center, and I mean big by not only the amount of work, but the by the meaning, like what we really are doing, because we started the convergence with a growness topic. So we were looking into our game world, and it's already visible in the game world of OnTree that there are also other game worlds that are growing or that are sprouting, and each of us is holding space for something different, something specific, something that it's more unique for each of us. And that really is, it's like when I connect with that space of all these possibilities that we have of creating OnTree, that it's creating the game worlds that are going out to the community, like for example the game world of healing village, like the healing clinic, that we want to make this shift, like cultural shift from using the conventional medicine to using processes like healing of, like using feelings and emotions to heal the symptoms. And this is one of the project that Wojciech and we are holding space for that game world to unfold in Golden Bay. And then the other one is like this, it's a kids learning center that we want to create for also alternative way of education. Or there is a project of Renee that she wants to hold space for parents so that they can use the parenthood to heal their traumas and to shift something in their life, and many other projects. So when I connected with that, I felt like, wow, this is like just so many areas that, yeah, we are now, because we're focusing so much in this first month of the land, and like very logistical things, like where to live and what kind of building and all this stuff. But this is now we have some more spaciousness because this first logistic, by landing in the land, are sorted, we are more settled down, and then open up some bigger jar, I would say, like other pots that are available already, and we are starting watering all these plants that we are individually or like as teams, because we have nodes also for each of these game words, we start to unfold. So there are, at the moment, there are different, I would say, like multi-layers or multi-dimensions projects happening at the same time. So there's a big focus on the village design, about this, like how we want to live, but in the broader perspective. So not only like where I want to live, Eva, and where Renee wants to live, where Anna wants to live, but what is the design, what is the village we want to live, like in the next years. And we are still have the conversation about that, and it's a lot of hours spending on that, on, yeah, talking what are our needs and what are our visions, and the clarity we have right now is that we want to have a very clear spaces so that there's like a living space where the ONTREE residents and ONTREE visitors can live. And there is also another space for a working space where we can work, we can hold space for other people also that will come to us for a healing session. There also will be a kids space, and there also will be a sacred spaces, more for retreats, individual or couple retreats, or for some rituals or other sacred things. So this is what we are cooking right now, and we are collaborating with people from the community that has this expertise of how to create the village design that is aligned with the land, because this is what is important for us. Is I talked with you in another conversation, like that is like the three pillars. Like there is me, I am at ONTREE. There are other people, and there is the land. Yeah. So what can we create whatever we want to create in relation with all of that, with myself, with other people, and with the land. So for example, now we will, because most of our land is bush, and if we want to build buildings, then we need to cut the bush. But it's not only about cutting the bush, like it's so much more, because we want to regenerate the land. And at the moment on our land is mostly one sort of tree. It's mostly Kanuka tree all over the place, which is also not great for the habitat. So it turns out that, yeah, if we want to create more living spaces, then we also want to take care about what the land needs. So we will clear the land, and we will make a design of, this is the Sannes project, as she is also creating this project called the Land Regenerative, which is about thinking beforehand, before cutting anything, and before like touching the existing forest, is to planning, okay, which plants we want to plant instead, so that there can be diversity in the land, and that can be even better habitat than it is right now. So this is that layer. Another layer is to take care of the land from the energetic side. So talking to the forest, what's going to happen, or talking to the species that's going to happen, that are living here, and maybe they need something before we will destroy anything. So this is where it's like this multi-level, because like one action that we take in the land, it has like other wider links. Yeah. So yeah, if I want to have the tiny house somewhere, yeah, I need to check how it is that with other person, how is that with collaboration with other parents, because we also want to have a common spaces for children. How is it that for the land? So there are many hours right now we are spending on that. And so we're working on the proposal model. So there is a lot of clarifications needed and coming through us over the last weeks. So also the things are processing, and I'm glad about this process, that it's not like, okay, we have a plan, we decide, we make a brainstorming, and that's it. It's not like that. It's really shifting then, because we also changing ourselves during that process. So I mean, like we all have different preferences. Yeah. So, and these preferences also are changing, because we see other possibilities of living. So then we come with another proposal. So the proposals are changing with our internal shifts, and this is what is the most taking our time at the moment. And we collaborating a lot with in this village design with Robina and Charlie, who have a lot of expertise and knowledge with helping communities across all the New Zealand. So they are also the permaculture experts, so they can advise us how to create the village that is supporting the land. Yeah, like for example, there are the electricity lines. So then we know, okay, there are, for example, some trees that loves that electricity load. So we know we can plant these trees over there. Or there are part of the land where it's a lot of water. So then we know which trees to plant there, or if it's a living space or it's not a living space. So there are all these details that really matter for this holistic view of how to really create the village that is sustainable and that is regenerative.
Mhm. And I hear that there is like this multi layers of projects, decision making happening, like multi-dimensional creation and
Mm.
simultaneous, like that is happening at the same time. And one thing that I'm noticing, I'm living in such a small group right now with another, now four, but before it was three adults and one child. And one of the main topics that comes, even though we are not creating a project, but we are living together, is the decision making, or
Mm.
like in a logistic space, how to efficiently
Mm.
decide things from the most basic things. For example, how does it go the food in the kitchen, onto who gonna repair the lawnmower, or more
Lawnmower.
lawnmower,
Yeah.
or who will take care of the firewood, like these daily activities that happens when we are living in a place. And I'm noticing that the default system that happens, and happens in here in other places I've been, is the orientation through preferences, and
Mm.
also through comfort, or through what is easier
Mm-hmm.
for me. And I'm curious, through the unfolding of the culture, moving from meeting online and then meeting weekly, or like monthly, and now is slowly coming more and more together. What has been transforming in terms of this decision making, that
Mm-hmm.
it's bigger decisions, the smaller decisions that are happening all the time, and that there is a we, and then there is a I, and then there is a us that includes the land.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very good question. And I want to say, like, one thing that, because we had so many things on our agenda, mostly in this last weeks, like so many topics and big topics, like really huge topics. Not like, let's buy the lawnmower who has a resistance. No, it's like, I want to make the design of this and that, and because like really things that are linking with other things. So these big decisions, or like the big proposals, we have actually a system of a Torus technology of the decision making, and this system, and which I will tell in a moment how it looks like. What it makes is that it really reduces the unnecessary questions or unnecessary resistances, so that the process is very efficient and yeah, efficient, I would say. So when we have something like a proposal for the group, then the first round, what we check in the group is if everyone understands the proposal, because sometimes the proposal is like for a half page, yeah, like written text. So it's really complex and can be things that people don't get, or their clarity is missing. So the first round is checking if everyone has the questions, and then people ask the questions if they understand, only that, if they understand that correctly. And then if everyone understand, then we make another one round, which is, does anyone has any considerations or opinions about this proposal? And the considerations is that maybe when I was bringing the proposal, I didn't think about something. So that does the space where someone can say, but did you think about that? Or like a deepening question for me. Yeah. So very often with this complex proposal, it's like in the first time it ends on the considerations, and then I can take all these considerations and all the deepening questions, and I can reframe my proposal for the next time, so that we are not losing the time for asking for the resistance for the proposal that it's not fully clear, or maybe there are some missing pieces in this proposal. And then only when there is this clarity and the clarifications are done, then we ask for the resistance. So sometimes it goes through 2 or 3 weeks when we really make a decision about the one proposal. Yeah, so because the one meeting like is percolating the considerations and other pieces, and the next meeting the person brings the clear proposal and then ask for the resistance. And this model really works for us because we are and this is where I was talking also about this liquid state. Yeah, so that in one meeting I can have I think I have a clarity about something I want to propose, but when with all these questions, actually I see, okay, there are also these things to take into account, or maybe something about the land, or maybe something about the water, or maybe that, and then I have a time to work on that and also deepen my knowledge, my wisdom, my expertise, or talking with other people. And this is also for us the way of how we learn about the complexity and the wholeness of this what we are doing. So so this is like how
I just want to check something.
Mhm.
Because I'm really curious about Torus technology or deepening Torus technology, and I got one physically with me. And what I'm getting from you is that with these another 2 layers that you are implementing, the layer of first checking the understanding
Mhm.
of the group, and then the second layer checking considerations and questions, deepening questions and opinions, is that you are giving more breath, like more breathing for each proposal that comes into the encounter of the group to diverge and then come back.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
what I'm hearing that you are learning through this time, that the effectiveness is created from amplifying this breathing of the organism by giving more space for people to work through the proposal outwards, and then coming back and really having more divergences happening.
Yes, totally. Because these things, many of these things we don't know, we invent. Yeah. So we even don't know what we don't know. So that's really a goal with this round of clarifications or deepening questions, because other people notice other things. Yeah, different people notice different things. They have different knowledge or different experience, and they can enrich the proposal. And my experience is that when we in the past were moving faster, so without this clarification, then we were missing some pieces, and then we were doing something that we had to put to the rubbish anyway, because it didn't work. We were looking at the bigger picture, but we were aware about that. Yeah, so that's why we go slower, but in more precise and with more attention or caution with with what else is important. Yeah, because it's like really a net, like one thing, even building a road, is connected with so many different things, or yeah, it's like interweaving together.
Mm-hmm.
So this is about the projects that we are doing, and about the household. Like we have at the moment we are living in the house with Patricia and Rene, so we are basically 3 generations from 3 years old to 73 years old. And so we're sharing the household, and how we are doing that, we're experimenting now. We're having 3 times a week a logistic meeting for the really logistic things, like as you said, who is gonna to bring the firewood, who is gonna do the rubbish, etc. And we have the list. And how we do that is that it's exactly the same as I think as in the labs, or most of the labs. that there's a space holder, and whenever that space holder wants to replace himself, just say, I don't want to do this job. Who wants to do this job? And then the other person takes a job. So far, we didn't have any problem with that. It's working. Yeah, so that's the logistic part. And also we take care about the connection. So we are meeting every 2 times a week for the connection time to cultivate our relationship and intimacy and radical relating, and also having a space to say whatever is to be said, or yeah, whatever is on the chest, or that we love each other, or that there is something on the way in the relating space, like whatever is there. And I love it. Like I find that it's actually very easy, was very easy for us to live together from the beginning, even when we never lived together with Patricia and Renee, and me, Wojciech, kids, Patricia and Renee. But I think that the clarity of what we want to create here, and the commitment, also commitment to each other, is so big that and that we can hold space for each other whenever someone notices, oh, but actually that's your box. This is not your being part speaking, your adult part speaking, then we take it. There's no resistance. We really, I think over this last year or more than year, we have really trust to each other. That, and I think that could be the point, that it's really helping us because we are trusting our feedback. Yeah, so we just take it, and there is no fight or resistance with this.
Something I'm thinking is I was talking with a woman that has been traveling for 2 years, visiting different eco villages and communities and projects of regeneration of the land. And she wrote an article of 51 pages. I requested her to publish, and she don't have a website, but I propose her to send to me, and I will publish in different places. But one thing that she told me that she saw between the successful communities that she visited along like different places of the earth was this common thread that connects the people and builds trust and relationship. And and one of the threads that she saw in common between successful communities, and by successful she was speaking about longevity, like that it's still existing after 50 years or 80 years, and also in terms of um, intergenerational, so there are different generations and the community is growing. So this is the two aspects that you considers. The core was inner development, or like the yes for growing and the yes for evolution. This is what she found in common. I think she visited more than 25 communities. And this is also a question that I have, and I'm curious how ONTREE has been deepening the context, because I heard this inside of possibility management as well several times, the importance of deepening the context of a game world or project or a training. And sometimes I wonder, how does that look like? Deepening the context to create this common ground where decision making happens, in even though there is diversity and each person is bringing their own wisdom and questions, there is a direction where it's clear what is the direction, so that the choice becomes very clear in several times, because it's not about the color that one person prefers over the color that other person, but it's different orientation of choices, right?
Yeah,
So
totally.
how it looks like this deepening context from what you are noticing to now. And I would say that this is the last because we're getting over the time,
Yeah.
but I'd like to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, what I see, what it's that this main distinction we're using is this distinction between the being box and gremlin. And I cannot imagine of how that would work if people don't have that distinction, how they make decisions and how they collaborate. For me, it's not possible actually to create something that is regenerative and that it's sustainable without this distinction, because like we are very radical, I would say, and then we are growing into this radicality of really holding space for being able to distinguish and naming that in the space. So when we have the meeting and then, okay, there is someone is speaking from the box preference, or someone is speaking from the gremlin, that is, okay, this is your box, that's your gremlin. What is now? Like what is the feeling? What is really your being or adult part wants to say? So we don't give a space for the box preferences. And I think this is what makes it so much easier. And I have this really, when I go to other contexts and I want to try to collaborate with people and they don't have that very sharp clarity about this distinction, that's where so much energy and time is consumed for going deeper, and the person finding out, oh, that's really the emotion, oh, that's really my part of my gremlin. And this is where I would say this again, like we trust each other. There's no defense mostly, or it's not for a long time. So that when someone get this feedback, okay, that's your box, they say, oh, okay, that's my box. Or that's your emotion. Oh, okay, that's the emotion. I put it on the side. That's not for now. I will take care about that tomorrow, this week, or whatever. So I think we are keep this culture of having a clarity which part of us is speaking, and that makes everything so much easier. And we are a team, you know, we are 8 adults who are holding space for that, you know. So yeah, so it's and when someone is in a reactivity, it's so visible, it's so noticeable from outside. So that person will get the feedback.
I'm just writing down because I have some more questions about that, and we are on the time that we agree on for now. But I know we have another space in the future, so I just wrote down that is about that piece of how to navigate this also with the outside, with people that does not hold that distinction. And another question that I also have, and I'll just let it here, so maybe it goes to Wojciech, that is next week. That is how ONTREE also it relates with the community, or what is the vision also of in relationship with the community, and to also the economic part in terms of making it very localized economy. So I have also questions in this direction, but I'm stopping for now.
Yeah. In the next time.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Well,
Gabriela.
thank you, Eva, for bringing more snips of what is alive for you right now in that creation.
Thank you, Gabriela, for the time interviewing me and asking questions.
See you next time.
See you. Bye.